It is my pleasure to welcome you. I am Joe Bancroft. I have the high privilege of serving as the chair of the Sam Nunn School of International Affairs, part of the Ivan Allen College of Liberal Arts here at the Georgia Institute of Technology. And I'm delighted to welcome you and try to sort of coordinate a little bit. What's going on here today is the product of a lot of effort that's been really the brainchild of several of the people on our faculty, including Admiral Sandy Winnefeld, who joined us a year ago, to look at one of the most important issues which not only populates the campaign these days, but frankly is front of mind on so many different aspects of our life. And so I start by saying I want to express my appreciation to you being here. I want to express my particular appreciation to Dr. Larry Rubin and Adam Stolberg, who have shepherded this along with Mary Lou Suarez, who, if we didn't have her, none of us would be in this room at the moment. And we have a large number of students who've also participated in getting this organized today. What I would like to do now is introduce Dr. Rafael Bras, who is our Georgia Tech Provost and the Executive Vice President for Academic Affairs. He actually has a chair in the School of Civil and Environmental Engineering, and is someone who has been in great leadership for so many of the projects that we do here. So I will turn it over to Dr. Bras.
Good morning, everybody. People are awake, more awake than I am at this moment. It's really truly a pleasure to be here and join you this morning in the Sam Nunn Bank of America biannual policy forum. It's not the first time I address this group and introduce the beginnings of the forum, and it's always a pleasure to see how many people participate and the increasing interest in the community of this important forum. I think we are serving the nation's needs. We're bringing the leading experts to explore all the major issues that face our nation. Indeed, the topic of today couldn't be more apropos. Extremism, how to deal with it, how to learn from it, and hopefully how to eliminate it. It's going to be a tough problem. Luckily, I'm not one of the speakers. It's been 13 years of this partnership with the Bank of America, our principal sponsor. And I would be remiss if I did not offer our gratitude to the Bank of America for the generous endowment that makes this forum possible year after year. We will hear from Wendy Stewart, Atlanta Market President of Bank of America, in a moment. Thank you very much, all members of Bank of America. It's always my pleasure to recognize Senator Sam Nunn for his continued leadership and forging the links between diverse communities, bridging academic, technological, and policymaking worlds together. I tell you, to me, as I've always repeated and said time and time again, one of the major benefits of having moved to Atlanta 6 years ago now is to have met Senator Nunn and talking to him commonly and frequently, and in fact being at all the time that I do. Thank you, Senator Nunn. It was in 1998 that we had a forum, this very forum, that led to the creation of the Georgia Tech Information Security Center. That center spearheaded our cybersecurity work for several years and launched the annual Georgia Tech Cybersecurity Summit. Today, the center is known as the institute-wide initiative called the Institute for Information Security and Privacy, leveraging intellectual capital from across Georgia Tech and external partners. A great success to those beginnings. This forum truly has made a difference. That's just one way. As one of the country's foremost leaders and thinkers in national defense, we really have indeed benefited very much with the relationship with Senator Nunn and his continuing activity in the Sam Nunn School of International Affairs. And we are honored at Georgia Tech to have two really esteemed alumni returned to campus and joined Senator Nunn as distinguished professors. Admiral Sandy Winfield joined us late last year, and just a few weeks ago, we welcomed General Phil Breedlove back to Georgia Tech in a new role. These two individuals have had a truly distinguished military career. I don't know if you know, but Admiral Winfield was the vice chairman of the Chief of Staff, and General Breedlove was the commander of NATO forces. Indeed, two of the most important military leaders in the nation were Georgia Tech graduates, and in fact were roommates, believe it or not. Truly incredible. General Breedlove addressed our Georgia Tech Foundation members just last week in a similar topic, and the reviews were raving. I'm sure Admiral Winfield will do the same. I have to tell you a little bit of a factoid which was interesting, that one of another member of our faculty, General Ron Johnson, did some quick count, and last week came to me and said, "Do you know that Georgia Tech has more stars than West Point?" And it is actually true. So it's really a fascinating, important moment in our history, and we're really honored to have you here, Admiral. I think your leadership and with the colleagues of the Sam Nunn School will really and truly propel the school to higher levels and put us in the map as major players in issues of national security, international affairs, and policy. I think we need to spearhead the cybersecurity leadership program, something that the Admiral has already been involved, and also continue engaging him in the research agenda of the Sam Nunn School, thinking of U.S. strategies pertaining to threats of ideological and religious extremism, the topic of the session today. Those very national strategies will drive, I think, the dialogue today, as the forum highlights insight from some of the foremost experts on ideological extremism and terrorism. Today, the forum will address three major topics, including identifying some of the root causes of regional and local violent extremism, exploring long-term solutions to addressing its fundamental causes, and the role of governments in mitigating violent extremism. None of us are immune around the world of this situation, and we're reminded every day. We will explore other questions. Probably the most fundamental question we can address today is, can we afford not to be engaged? The answer is simple. I think you will all agree. It's absolutely not. All of us have a role, and that's why we're here. Once again, I welcome you all. Thank you for your participation, and have a very good day.
Thank you very much, Dr. Bras. As the provost has said, these forums are not just a collection, it is a connection. And things have come from this, and we expect to continue to come from this. And part of what we're doing is an outreach. The students that are here, raise your hands. All right? And we have connections by video today to the Georgia Tech campus in Metz, France, GT Lorraine. And we have a connection to Sciences Po in Paris, and somewhat more closely, even in the football season, the University of Georgia. And I would welcome all of our colleagues around the world who are going to be participating by video. Let me now express my personal appreciation to the Bank of America for the support they have given to us. They are a stalwart of this community and have been for many years. As it turns out, when I was practicing law with Senator Nunn some years ago, 1997, I helped put together the first of the security forums here. And Bank of America has been part of that program since that time. And so it's my privilege to introduce to you briefly Wendy Stewart, who is the Atlanta Market President for Bank of America and the co-head basically of the whole Southeast region. She also is co-head of Bank of America's Merrill Lynch Global Commercial Banking Practices for the Southeast region. And someone who knows a good deal about community service in her own right because she departed from her banking career briefly to run the YWCA here for a number of years. This is a reflection of the investments that the Bank of America makes in looking to the future as well as supporting the present. And so I'm pleased to introduce Wendy Stewart.
Good morning. It's a pleasure to be here today. And as I thought about this topic, it's so important. And it's very important to our company. We as a company are very dedicated to our values, and it's important that we live our values every day, and we do that by delivering on our purpose. And our purpose is about making financial lives better for our customers and clients, and we do that by being connected. And Joe used that word connected, and I think that is also very, very important, and it's what we're doing today is being connected to have a really interesting conversation about a tough topic. When we live our purpose well, we benefit. Our employees, our customers, our clients, they're able to succeed. And when our customers and our clients and our employees succeed, our community thrives. And it's very important to us to have a thriving community. It's important for me, living here in Atlanta, to have a thriving Atlanta. And not only is it important for us across the country, because we are working across the United States to have thriving communities, it's also important for us to have a thriving international platform, because we do a lot of business globally. And so not only are we focused locally, we're also focused globally. And so that is a very interesting opportunity for us today, because we are going to talk about some global issues that are impacting us here locally and across the United States. So as I think about the dialogue that we'll have, there is not a better partner for us to do that with and to tackle this than the Sam Nunn Bank of America Policy Forum. As you've heard, we have partnered together for nearly 20 years, and we've done that because we think it's very important to craft responses to critical challenges that are facing our country. So we look forward to a very full day with distinguished, very knowledgeable presenters who are expert in their field. And on behalf of Bank of America, I thank you for your attendance.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Larry Rubin, and I'm a professor in the Sam Nunn School of International Affairs, and I happen to specialize in the Middle East, so this topic is of tremendous interest for me, and I will be the moderator for this event today. I'm very pleased to welcome you to the Sam Nunn Bank of America Policy Forum. We've put together, as you can tell, as everyone said as well, an excellent group and assembled some of the top experts, policy experts, and as well as those in think tanks and analysts to come talk about this pressing issue that we are faced with. We can't seem to get away from. What are some of the causes of this ideological extremism, and what can we do about it, either as a global community or even, if we want to ask more specifically, the United States? I'd like to also take this opportunity to thank once again, or to echo past thanks and future thank yous to many of those involved, particularly our sponsor, Bank of America, all the panelists that have come from various places, mostly in DC, some right down the road, and also particularly to Mary Lou Suarez and the students, and Will in particular, the student volunteers, and others that I may have forgotten. The program will kick off with our keynote, as you know, from General Allen, and then we'll hear from our panelists in two groups, and you've probably seen the format that will address one part, what are the underlying causes, and then what can we do about it. But first, we'll have Senator Nunn will set the stage for us, and it's a great honor to introduce him as well as the rest of the speakers today. Senator Nunn, for whom our International Affairs School is named at Georgia Tech, needs no formal introduction to this audience, but I'd like to hit a few of the highlights of Senator Nunn's very distinguished career, which continues today almost 50 years after he ran for public office. We're proud that he attended Georgia Tech and know he received his undergraduate and law degrees from Emory University. As a young man, Senator Nunn went on to have an incredibly effective and successful career in the U.S. Senate, where he served as the chairman of both the Armed Services Committee as well as the Permanent Subcommittee on Investigations. Senator Nunn's leadership in national security, as we know, is renowned, particularly in his effort to secure nuclear materials and weapons. His work, which led to the bipartisan Nunn-Lugar Cooperative Threat Reduction Program, continues today as Senator Nunn serves as CEO and co-chair of the Nuclear Threat Initiative. Senator Nunn recently completed a tour of duty as a co-chair of the Council on Foreign Relations Independent Task Force on U.S. Policy toward North Korea, releasing a report this past Friday which outlines proposed steps for dealing with North Korea. Senator, I really wish you would, I'm looking for you there. Oh, you changed seats. Okay. Senator, I'd really wish you, now it ruined my joke, but you really wish you would tackle some really important issues for a change. So seriously, I know that I'll speak for all of us in the audience in our city and that you'll continue to make our world a safer place. Senator, I'm pleased to welcome you to the stage and to hear your remarks. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Larry. Thank you, Joe. Thank you, Raphael. We are very, very grateful to Bank America. Grateful to the people who put this program together, Larry and Adam, Mary Lou, and all the student volunteers. Really is going to be, I think, a very informative and stimulating day with the speakers that we have. Also, I'd have to add that Bud Peterson was with us last night, the president of Georgia Tech, and our provost, Raphael. We appreciate so much the words you brought. These two leaders have done a magnificent job at Georgia Tech. It's been very impressive, and it will be even more impressive tomorrow morning after the Yellow Jackets beat the Tigers. Wendy, we have enjoyed the generosity of Bank America for a number of years now, and we have been, I think, good stewards of the endowment you set up. We have a program every 2 years now. The first 6 years, we rotated it with Emory and the University of Georgia, and we've always stayed connected with Emory and the University of Georgia during the whole series. So Bank of America has been a terrific donor and partner in this series. We are fortunate for the people we've got coming today on the panel. We're going to hear from a tremendous leader, Marine Corps General, retired General John Allen, who will lead off this morning as the keynoter. General Allen served with great distinction for more than 35 years as a Marine officer. He commanded U.S. forces in Afghanistan. He's the former commander of the Central Command. He's an expert on the Middle East, and he's one of our nation's most respected and trusted advisors of the complicated issues we face today, as well as many other issues which we will not address today. Just for those of you who are in academia, he knows a little bit about that subject too, having been the Commandant of the Naval Academy. And he reminded us last night he was there when Georgia Tech had a narrow, 77-7 victory once. So he may not dwell on that subject, but General Allen we're very, very fortunate to have him here today. So I thank all of the panelists, and I'm looking forward to the program. I must say, when I look at the challenges we face around the globe today, and I look at some of the rhetoric we hear in political circles particularly, I'm reminded of the old story of the comedian Will Rogers. And Will Rogers had a quip for everything, but we were losing a lot of merchant ships in the World War I period, the United States was, and a young reporter walked up to him one day and said, "Mr. Rogers, you seem to have an answer to everything. What would you do about the Germans sinking so many of our merchant ships? What would be your answer?" Rogers thought a minute and said, "Young man, that's a simple question." He said, we should drain the Atlantic Ocean. And the reporter said, "Mr. Rogers, how do we do that?" He said, "Young man, I'm a policy expert. I am not a detail man." I expect today we're going to hear from both the policymakers and the details, because that is essential. So thank you all for being here.
thank you, Senator Nunn, for setting the stage for us. And I want to particularly emphasize, talking about the next generation, in a sense, the students that will also be forced or potentially and need to consider some of these issues.